Hello, welcome to Algorithms. My name is Saurabh, and today we are going to discuss about top challenges in securing infrastructure in finance sector. Now we all know, with the inception of big data, Internet of Things, blockchains, and so on and so forth, and its coupling with the finance innovation, the number of transactions in the finance world has increased significantly, and and if I have to provide you certain examples, for instance, February 2016, a cyber attack on Bangladesh Central Bank resulted in $81 million loss. Similarly, 2017 data breach at Equifax that affected more than 140 million customers. And if you look at analysis in 2018 by International Monetary Fund, so there is an impact on financial institutions' profits due to these cyber attacks, and the profit compromise could range from 9% to 50%. Okay, so let's look at what are those areas and why they are difficult to tackle. So number one is limited integration between physical security and cyber security. We know that financial institutions comprise both physical assets as well as cyber assets. Now, what happens? So, physical asset example, I would say close CCTV cameras, intelligent visual surveillance systems, security lighting, alarms, and then cyber security systems like CM platforms, intrusion detection systems. But the challenge is these physical and digital cyber security platforms are not integrated, and that makes it very difficult from the process perspective. Now, because of its isolated nature or siloed nature, the processes and the teams are different as well, and that is adding more communication issues and inefficiencies in the system. So, inefficient security measure. Inability to cope with the cyber physical attacks, because the nature of cyber attack is different than the nature of physical attack, and then increased cost, because the processes are not collaborative in nature, so that is causing increasing cost in terms of securing these assets, and there is a lot of duplication and overlap as well. So let me give you two simple examples. So one is ATM network attack. So in that case, the process of risk assessment and mitigation is not uh, uh, is not integrated with the cyber assessment and cyber risk mitigation process. So these two processes are different. Similarly, for instance, if we are talking about unauthorized access to a device or data center, and these days, this is one of the best ways to gain access to internal resources and launch a cybersecurity attack as an insider. So, so what happens is, because of different processes, different teams handling these systems and processes from the security perspective, there is a lot of duplicate and overlap, which causes inefficiency in the system, as I explained. And if we focus on removing those inefficiencies by integrating these systems, will definitely help. Now, compliance to stringent regulatory requirements and directives. Now, when we say financial institution, there are different categories of financial institutions, and every financial institutions, for instance, if somebody is talking about retail banking, wealth management, commercial banking, then hedge funds. Now, the point is, every category uh, comes with different or a host of regulations that they have to comply with. So, for instance, some of the examples like the Second Payment Services Directive. So, it is more of a having a system where one bank can interact with the multiple payment service providers using API based open banking approach. So this raises more cybersecurity concerns, and It requires a strong security measure like vulnerability assessment on the APIs. Now, those who want to understand more about API, how to secure API from the web applications perspective, and what are the different risk areas within APIs, how to how to secure your API gateway on AWS platform. Those presentations are already covered these topics, and you can get a better insight how to do that just by going to my those slides. I have provided the link in this presentation, so you just click on the link and you will get back to the API and API gateway presentations. GDPR, I'm not going to explain because most of us are already aware about how the personal data has to be deleted or regulated by the organization. So, for instance, if a consumer asks a company to delete their personal information, they have to do it, and they have to declare what they are doing with the personal information of that specific customer. Network Information System Directive, that was for Europe, European banks, and so what happened over there, so they prescribed measures that included the establishment of risk-driven security policies, as well as the collaboration between security teams. For instance, emergency response teams, security incident response team at national and international level. So the National Information System Directives, they came up with a process in order to make sure there is a tight collaboration, and they are also working on integrating the processes which belongs to different team and different organizations. Now, limited automation is also one of the area that has to be addressed by the organizations, and because hackers and adversaries are continuously taking advantage of leading edge technologies in order to exploit the vulnerabilities in your physical or cyber assets or your critical infrastructure. So, in order to cope up with the rapid pace, you have to make sure that you have automation or automation implemented in your processes. So every time a vulnerability is encountered, it has to be remediated in an automated manner. And one of the areas I would say is that, for instance, DevOps is something where you find vulnerability, and there are a lot of tools which provides recommendations. Similarly, AWS Security Hub, Azure Security Center, they provide recommendations when they scan your Dockers and other infrastructure, and they provide recommendations and severity level and how to fix it as well. So those are very important implementations, and once it is done, you see the value, how the manual effort goes down, and you are strengthening your network infrastructure from the security perspective. Machine learning is also taking a role in terms of coming up. There are several tools like Elasticsearch, as well as Splunk, which helps you in understanding the user behavior and other areas as well. So those are the extensive tools which helps you not only with the visualization, but with the analytics analysis part as well, which is more automated or predictive in nature. Lack of flexibility in coping with the number of threats, means increasing number of threats. Now, in this case, I already explained DevOps, I already explained CIM solutions and its integration with the different devices. So now organizations, whether it is Microsoft or AWS, they are very sensitive in terms of how they want to protect uh, data for a specific business vertical. So they are including a lot of third-party integrations just to make sure that they address these challenges. But since the pace of adoption is slow, plus you don't find good architects and folks who can help you with the implementation, because they have so forward in one part of the security area. They could be very good in terms of security event management or security incident management, but when it comes to putting together a overall architecture uh, with a machine learning on top of it, and then a presentation layer that helps organization to quickly to quickly understand the challenge and respond to those threats in advance. So that's where we come in the picture. We understand the overall landscape, we understand different data sources, we understand the importance of physical security, physical asset security, similarly cyber asset security. And as you go through our presentations and discussions that we have recorded so far, you will come to know that we are talking in depth. We are not just talking about high level frameworks. At the same time, we are making sure that you are well aware about different areas, whether it is identity management, whether it is network segmentation, whether it is APIs, and how you secure those areas as well using different tools which are available in AWS, Azure, or on premises. Okay, so I guess this is it from my side. I'll try to cover one more presentation on this topic, which is specific to security information and event management architecture and core capabilities. So that is going to help you understand how CM implementations address some of these concerns which organizations are adopting nowadays. Thanks a lot. If you have any comments, please drop it in the comments box. Thank you for watching.